Thank you. Recording is now in progress.
Okay, now I'm gonna record.
Uh,
I'm gonna record. Please ask host for permission to record.
well,
Sorry.
it's okay. Bri, what is your name?
Brianna Schamberg.
This is awkward.
Oh, poop on a cracker. Let me close this door so I don't hear the annoying dog pitter patter nails. Oh God. I can hear you. Are you talking?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was singing Pitter Patter Poo.
Oh. Microphone.
Micro.
Thank you, micro.
Micro check.
Micro.
Micro.
He's here.
Hello.
Hello, Amy.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Gavin. Hello, Poppet.
Hello, Pulpit. I love that movie so much. Are you drinking a Dr. Pepper?
I am.
Me too.
Yay!
I can't really show mine. There it is. Cheers,
Cheers.
buddy. Dr. Pepper's the best.
It is. I
love
drink
it.
zero because ever since I switched over, I don't know. It's not even just the fact that it's like 0 calories or 0 sugar. It's the fact that like I just like the taste better now.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
I've just become accustomed to it.
accustomed to it.
Yes.
That makes sense. This is our podcast.
Yo, this is our podcast. We're gonna start a rap now about our podcast. Go,
We
baby.
talk about true crime.
We talk
And about
about
being
paranormal and aliens and break it down for me.
aliens, and we talk
Wow.
about light. I'm really bad at rhyming.
All right. No, here, seriously. No,
Okay.
not really.
Break it down.
This
What's
is
with
our
the
true crime and
neighbors?
paranormal. This is our true crime and paranormal podcast, and
That's Bri.
that's Amy right there,
Right
that
here.
lovely lady.
She's right next to me. Hey, Bri.
What's up, bud? Oh wait, yeah. What's up,
Yeah.
buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
It's fantastic.
We are both feeling better now, but we're recording distantly because technically
Because I have children.
she has children.
Yep.
So
And it's during a weekday. And our weekend was a little
technically she has
chaotic.
children.
Technically, I mean, I do have children, but you know,
Yeah,
they're
so-
napping.
Yeah, they're napping, so it's nap time. So we're just getting it done. I can't see what it's. You're gone. You're still gone.
I'm trying so hard. I was trying to show them my babies on the monitor. Oh.
Oh. Oh,
Here,
there they
Mom.
are.
There's my babies.
Hi, babies. So, yeah. We don't have any announcements this week.
Nope. Other than we're so close to 1,000 downloads.
Gosh.
Thank you, everybody who is stuck with us from the beginning. You're amazing.
You're wonderful. We love
both
you.
of our moms, our dads, everybody.
Shout-outs.
You are amazing. Thanks for the support.
Yep.
You know,
and everyone that's sent in stories so far, like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, thank you.
yes.
Speaking of, we want more stories, so please
Yes.
send them. And another announcement is we did not do the escape room this last
No,
weekend.
That's right.
So Rick was not having a good day, and I was like, I cannot leave the kids with him. Like, that would not be safe for anyone. Not safe, but he just wasn't doing well. So
Right.
I didn't want to give that add stress to him. So we are going to go this coming week. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
And it's going to be a blast.
It's going to be great. So
Maybe we'll escape. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll be stuck in the Arctic asylum for the rest of our
And
lives. I don't know.
you guys will have to come rescue us. Sorry. So I'm going to tell you a story. It's not our typical neighborhood stories.
All right. Let's hear it.
So I actually saw this in a meme group that I'm in on Facebook, one of the dozens that I'm in. And I thought it was hilarious, but also kind of scary. I should say I found it bizarre and weird and funny at the same time, like ironically funny, I guess. I don't know. So I found it and it was a meme, like someone's a screenshot of someone's Twitter post. And I was like, I need to know more. There's got to be more. So I pulled up a police report and read about it and kind of put it in words.
Oh, snap.
So, yeah. So it's a little bit longer, but it's still fun. It's interesting.
That's okay.
So, and it makes me scared also. And I'm thankful that I don't live in an apartment. So, anyways, here we go. Around 10 a.m., a 25-year-old man in an upstairs apartment at the complex dropped a loaded rifle, firing a round through his own floor and into a pillow of his neighbor's bed below.
Oh, shit.
If someone had been lying on that pillow, it would have been a bad situation, said the police officer. The bullet left a distinct hole in the pillow. It went through the mattress underneath and as well and ended up in the box spring. The upstairs neighbor claims to have dropped his bolt action rifle, firing the shot accidentally. The man called police after knocking on his downstairs neighbor's door and no one answered. His story is that he was packing for a trip. He was in his closet and he knocked the rifle over the shelf and that's when a shot was went off into the floor. And the police officer said, "We would never recommend that you store a gun with bullets in the chamber." Oh, yeah. You don't say. As for the tenant, the person, his neighbor downstairs, described as a woman who travels frequently, was not at home at the time, and the police officers left a written note for her. And at this time, the officer said that the guy is not being charged with a crime. But the gun owner was evicted the next day after being found in breach of his lease contract.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Just like,
can you post that meme on the page?
Yeah.
After this comes out.
Oh,
that's
my
crazy.
Gosh. Isn't that like, oh, I could not imagine.
That, oh my God. I'm surprised that went through. I'm so surprised. I mean, I know you can shoot. Hopefully he doesn't listen to this. Back in the day, whenever I lived with my dad and my ex-stepmom, I had stepbrothers, and one of my stepbrothers said he was cleaning his gun.
No.
And he managed to shoot a hole in the ceiling.
No.
I mean, it didn't go all the way through, but I mean, it's just, I would think that the apartment floors would be thicker.
If they're cheap.
Yeah, maybe.
Cheaply built.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I know. It makes me like, that's a new fear unlocked for sure.
Yeah. That's why you keep them in your safes.
Yeah.
Keep them locked up.
And
don't just keep them in your closet and let them get knocked over.
And don't put the bullets of the gun separate. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's
be smart.
Let's be smart about this. That's like anyway, so that was I was like, I have to share this story. This is bananas. So
that's great. That's crazy. You definitely share that that post.
Yeah,
in the group for sure.
When this comes out, I'll post the meme because I was like, what on earth is going on here? So do you want to go first this week?
I kind of do. I'm really excited for my story.
I'm really excited for your story.
I hope it. I also saw like some last minute stuff this morning, so I threw it in there too. So hopefully it's. I didn't read I didn't read. I usually try to read over the entire thing before I do this,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a chance to read that part. So I read it
Oh,
yesterday, but I didn't read that extra part. But I mean, I
okay.
read it when I was putting it in there
Well,
because I kind
you've
of had
done
to
that in the
research
past
it.
because you want to be surprised also.
Yeah, I mean, I read it because I had to read it to put it in there. But
Yeah.
okay, so this is I've always been kind of fascinated with this story. This is the story on the disappearance of the Roanoke colony. Have you heard of it?
Nope.
It's kind of like a Jamestown type of thing. It happened before it. So,
Oh, kind of like a cult?
no. Nope,
Oh,
nothing like a cult. You'll find out.
okay.
So, in the year 1587, a John White, he was just like your
1587?
1587. Yes, it's very,
Dang.
very, very old.
Okay.
So John White, just this average Joe guy, pretty sure he was an artist. Not pretty sure, he was an artist. He was tasked to lead a group of 115 English settlers. The people consisted of laborers, craftsmen, farmers, and their families.
Huh.
And they were tasked to go to the coast of what is now North Carolina and establish some sort of settlement. So
Oh.
this is discovering the whole new world, which it was already discovered, but
Oh
we're not going to get
no.
into that whole
Yeah.
mess there.
Yeah.
So in the group of settlers, they also included his own wife and his son-in-law and his daughter, who was actually expecting her first baby.
Oh.
Um, a little backstory on this place is that this had already been attempted a couple years back, by a guy named Raleigh. It's probably Raleigh because there's a town named Raleigh there.
Hmm.
This was already attempted by other people, and the leader of it was named Raleigh, and that was in 1585 and 1586, but they gave up pretty quickly because they ran out of supplies and they were attacked by the Native Americans.
Oh,
So
geez.
I guess they were hoping to have better results this time since they weren't sending like military, angry men ready to go
Right.
in and fight an army. They were just going to send a bunch of people that didn't know what the hell they were doing.
You're like, great.
I kind of feel like it's really they didn't go good either way. I feel like they could have like mixed up. Maybe they should have mixed up the groups.
Maybe just
Um,
like sent a couple children.
yeah.
We're just trying to find the new
Have fun.
world.
Have fun. um, so John was asked to pretty much in the same result or to get let me restart that. So yeah, John was asked to do this same thing, but hoping to get better results. And remember, he had zero leadership skills, zero experience in this kind of
Right.
situation. Just your average Joe.
An average
Um,
John.
Average John. So upon their arrival, there was no sign of anyone there. Duh. But there was a sun bleached skeleton, which I'm guessing is
Oh.
probably from the past people who got attacked from Native Americans. I'm betting some of
Oh,
them
yeah.
died. Um, so that's
Still terrifying to
pretty high
find.
hopes there.
Yeah.
Definitely a little sketch, that's for sure.
It's like in the movies, like a mystery movie or something, and they're like, let's go into this cave, and they're like, oh no, skeletons. Let's
Oh,
keep
there's
going.
blood here? Okay,
Oh,
let's go.
weird. More skeletons.
So obviously, a few months after settling, they too began to experience attacks from the Native Americans, and they also began to run short on food and supplies. And this is just a few months in. So
Yeah.
how did you not bring enough?
I don't.
So
Someone got hungry in the very beginning.
right, it's John's daughter.
The pregnant
She's
one.
pregnant.
It makes sense.
She's eating all of the grain,
All the
whatever they
grain.
have, whatever they have to eat.
She's like, I'm craving pickles and peanut butter mix, but I guess I'll eat this wheat.
Will you go out to England real quick and go get me some ice cream? Thanks. um so they selected or wow, I cannot talk. So, as a group, they all decided that John would go back to England to go get more supplies
Mhm.
and return, leaving behind all these people, including his own family. During his trip, there was a war going on, the
Oh my gosh.
Anglo-Spanish War, which was between England and Spain, and it was like kind of like at its peak.
Uh-huh.
And I guess Queen Elizabeth had called the first, not the current Queen Elizabeth, obviously. She's super old.
I mean, this one is old
um,
also, but
he called for every available ship to confront the Spanish Armada. Um, so there was a lot going on in the oceans.
oh.
His return was obviously delayed. He couldn't get a ride. He couldn't get a ride. Um, and
There's
so
no Uber
finally,
boats. I don't know. They're all
so fine.
busy fighting a war. I don't
Oh, I love it. Uber boats. I wonder if that's a thing.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Maybe. So finally, 3 years later, SpongeBob, in 1590, he returned to the colony, and it was
How
actually
many
the
years?
day.
3?
Yep, it was actually the day of his granddaughter's birthday. Her name was Virginia Dare, or it was the day of her third birthday. Sorry.
Okay.
You think he brought back cupcakes to surprise her?
Absolutely not. He
Let's
did, but they're
find out.
moldy. Here's your moldy
It's so
cupcakes.
moldy. Oh, so when he got there, there was no trace of the colony. And there was very evidence left over as to anyone even being there. Um, all but a single word, Croatoan, carved into a wooden post, and the letters CRO carved into a tree.
Wait, so
Croatoan,
there
yeah.
was no evidence, like no bedding, no tents, nothing?
So one there were
Am I
some
jumping
of
the gun?
no, you're fine. There were some sites said that some of their belongings were left behind and they were just like weathered, like they obviously hadn't been touched, but they had been like dug through, like taken stuff had been
Right.
taken out of them, but nothing was like looked like it was out of place or messed up, or nothing looked like it was tampered with, and there didn't seem like there was any kind of act of violence in the area.
Oh,
So
okay.
it just like they just up and disappeared.
Just like walked away from it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So in prior to him leaving, they agreed that if something were to happen, if they were forced to leave the area, they would carve a Maltese cross into the tree or
Uh-huh.
somewhere. Um, that's like a I looked it up, and it looks like a firefighter background or an ambulance background. It's like a kind of
Oh,
like a
yeah.
four-leaf clover. But they would carve that into something, and there was no sign of any of them anywhere, so he didn't think that that could be an issue.
Because that was their agreement.
Yeah. Um, all their belongings had been stolen or weathered by the elements, and the buildings had been disassembled. So it's like they're like, hey, let's pack up everything that we need. Let's take down all the stuff and go. I don't know. Or they just left it all, or they just left it all and someone disassembled it or used
Weird.
the stuff that was used to build stuff. I don't know. That's why it's a question. So, there, like I said, there was no sign of violence or foul play. And prior, I already said the cross thing. Sorry, I jumped ahead of myself.
No,
Look at
that's because
me
I
telling the
asked.
story without actually reading it. You're fine. So John attempted to search for them, but a bad storm came into the land and he was forced to leave.
Oh
And
my
the
gosh.
next morning, he convinced two captains of some ships to sail there to Croatoan, and because that was the did I already say that part? That was the name of the other tribe.
No.
Crap. It's because I messed up. Okay, I jumped ahead of myself. Can I restart all of this part?
Yep.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Are we going back to where I asked the question and we'll just take out my question?
No, you can keep your question. I don't remember what your question was, though.
I don't remember now. Go ahead. I'll figure it out.
Okay. So the single when he
Single
arrived,
word.
When he arrived, there was no trace of the colony, and very little evidence was left, but a single word Croton was carved into a wooden post, and 3 letters CRO carved into a tree. And Croton was the name of an island home of Manto's friendly tribe. He was a member. Manto was a member of a local Native American tribe who they befriended. So they were
Oh,
like,
okay.
okay, maybe they dipped out and went to this nice tribe and kind of like mixed in with them since they were
Yeah.
friends with them, and they kind of took them in their
Yeah.
wing. Um, and he had agreed they had agreed prior to him leaving that if something did happen, that they would carve a Maltese cross into a tree somewhere, which is like a 4-leaf clover looking cross, and
Mm,
it was just basically showing that they were forced to leave the area.
right.
So there was no crosses in any of the trees, couldn't find anything,
Oh
and
my
so
gosh.
he attempted to search for them, but a bad storm ended up coming in, so he was delayed on that, and he convinced 2 captains the next morning to sail to Croatoan to see if they were there,
Yeah.
and that failed because one of the
Oh,
ships,
jeez.
I'm pretty sure the anchor broke and the ship sank.
Oh my
And I guess
gosh.
one of the captains convinced him to head for the Caribbean islands and look for them there, which he ended up just going back to England and just gave up and was like, I'm just gonna have to live the rest of my life
Without my
knowing that.
family.
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't know how
gosh.
I don't know how he could do that. I don't think I would ever stop looking, but I guess like
No,
you don't really have the resources then. It's not like you can be like, "Hey, let's call the Navy."
that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
So he never returned to Roanoke, and 3 years later he ended up dying in either Ireland or England. Um he probably drank himself to death.
I
Um
would.
and to this day many attempts have been made to find out exactly what happened, and it's still one of the biggest mysteries as far as that one goes. So,
Oh my gosh.
theories, there's tons of theories. So the
Oh, I'm
theories are
sure.
fun.
I love theories.
So, one of the most obvious theories over the years has been that they realized the dire situation they were in, and the colonists simply attempted to make their way back to England, and they like on their own ship made a ship, I guess, and
Yeah.
they got lost at sea. So that's a big one since there's like no sign of them, and like it kind of makes sense with all getting all the stuff but not all the stuff because they can't take everything with them.
Everything because of the weight
Yeah.
and around.
Also, there was the battle that was between Spain and England. Um, they think that, or there's a theory saying that maybe they could have gotten taken out by that. Um, but the Spanish troops weren't, I think the Spanish troops were more in Florida. So it's not really something that
Yeah.
is likely.
And there would be
Um,
evidence if they were taken out by him.
exactly, like, right, or bullets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, various Native American tribes in the area claim to see evidence of the colony fighting against itself, leading many to wonder if disease or plague caused the residents mental health or to suffer, and uh, leading them to intense and violent paranoia.
I
So
get
I don't know.
yeah,
They
but
could have
there would be
gotten,
evidence.
but then you would think that maybe with that crazy paranoia and stuff,
They ate him.
cannibalism,
Oh,
they could have just lost all hope and started getting pissed off at each other and
I
talking
too like to
crap
bite
and
people
getting
and eat them.
hungry and eating people. Oh, this baby looks real good. Sorry. Baby back ribs. Oh,
Try
that's
not to be
awful. So a disease or maybe disease could have led to paranoia and they could
yeah.
have cannibalized, but I think that's very unlikely too.
You would have
Um,
left the bones behind. You're not gonna
yeah, there
eat
would be some kind
bones.
of evidence, I think. Um, The chief, also known as the father of Pocahontas, allegedly confessed to John Smith that he was reasonable or responsible for the execution of an entire colony, apparently.
That doesn't surprise
And
me.
they believe that he may have been referring to Roanoke. But he also
Mm,
people also think that he could have been like talking, just saying stuff and trying
'cause
to
he
make
was
him
mad
seem
at
like a
him.
big badass and stuff.
Are you sure it's not because
Trying
he
to
was saying, "Oh, you think that John Smith was just saying that?"
No, the chief. The chief told John Smith this because this is a different John.
I know. So the chief was telling this to John Smith?
Yes, that he had taken out an entire,
Gotcha,
uh,
gotcha, gotcha.
yeah, whereas he was
Probably to
responsible
scare him
for the
because he's like, "You're
execution.
raping my daughter."
Probably just to scare them because they had brought all their white people and brought
I
diseases. Like, you better
know.
get out of here, or we're gonna take you out next.
Yeah.
But they say they apparently that's probably him stretching the truth, trying to scare him and seem impressive. So
Yeah.
the Croatoans lived on an island south of Roanoke that went by the same name as their tribe, according to the reports of like the History Channel.
Huh,
And the researchers found evidence that the settlers integrated themselves with the tribe, like mixed in,
huh.
and even perhaps broke off to join other tribes on the mainland. So kind of just like join the Croatoans, but also, like, diversed out and divvied out to other
Right.
tribes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, Also, the tribe believed witches could inhabit both men and women. Though there isn't much evidence to support it, there are theories that they sentenced the colonists to death, suspecting them of witchcraft.
Oh, give me a
Um,
break.
I know. Everybody's a witch. um, Let me see. This is the tree one. Crazy stories had stemmed from the word Croatoan being etched into one of the trees on the island, leading people to believe that the tribe somehow mystically turned all the colonists into trees.
That
Believable,
that's the one
likely.
I believe.
Another less likely
Human turned
one,
trees.
um, right? Another less likely one, but it's still a big one, I guess, is that the scenario involves the entire colony have been possessed by one of the evil spirits that the Croatoans allegedly believed in lingered around the island that lingered around the island. So I guess like the Croatoans believed like an evil spirit that was there possessed them. So then
How
where's
long were
all the
they there
bodies?
before John White had to go back?
Huh?
How long were they there before John White had to go
Only a
back?
couple months.
Oh, okay.
They were there. Oh, how long did they leave? Or
No, how long
they don't
was
know
no, no, no. How long were they there
until
before
John White
John?
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a couple months.
Okay.
Um, Another theory, instead of them being witches themselves, some people flipped that and said that they were victims of witchcraft. I don't know.
Well,
Uh,
they all would have. There would have been evidence. I think
yeah.
that they turned into trees.
Is this my favorite one? Uh, so some people think that this was like a whole political move. Um, I guess anthropologists believe that Sir Francis Walsingham, uh, I guess he was Queen Elizabeth's Secretary of State,
Huh.
that he made sure that the colony would become stranded in a plot to discredit the first guy who went there, the first guy who attempted to make a colony there. Um, because he funded the whole thing, and I guess he was pretty high up too. He funded the whole second one.
The guy
So I
that
guess it was
died.
also an attempt. People believe that it was an attempt to make him look bad,
Oh
because the
lordy.
queen kind of thought of him as a golden boy or whatever. So he was he was just trying to make him look bad, I guess, or
That
move
would
up. And
make sense why they sent like nobodies.
I feel like you maybe, yeah, and just in hopes that it would fail, but I feel like it would, yeah, I guess that does
But
kind of
that's
make
putting
sense,
a
but
lot of eggs in one basket,
exactly,
hoping.
especially for back then.
Yeah.
Um, Now here's my favorite. Alien abduction. Uh, there, there's no proof to back it up, but I mean, when has
Aliens
there ever
didn't
been?
exist back then, Bri.
I mean, what? Aliens always existed.
I
We're
don't
just getting
know.
smarter, so they're coming around more.
That's true.
They're fighting some intelligent life. um, I mean, there's no evidence, but in a big alien abduction theory, when has there ever been like serious evidence to back it up?
True. That's
So,
true.
as far as today, they're still like they still don't know what happened. In 2007, they began to like analyze the local families to figure out if the Roanoke colony did in fact like divvy out and start spreading out, but
Just
I don't think
yeah.
they found any kind of DNA from the original settlers.
Well, and how are
Um,
you gonna find DNA from that?
I know, it's not like you could get it from back then. That's what I was wondering too. But I guess like they know they do know because John White had relatives that go down in history and they probably get that relative of John White's now because they know they're yeah, so they get their DNA because I guess like I mean, how
Yeah,
else would they find out like the family trees that if I'm related to like the guy who invented the television,
that's true.
which I am.
Are you?
I am Philo Farnsworth.
I
He's my great
didn't know
grandma's
that.
cousin or uncle or someone. Can't remember.
That's so
Maybe it was
cool.
the color television.
That's
Still,
still really cool.
still pretty cool. In 2012, while examining a map at a British museum in London, um, that John White had painted of the Elizabethan era of the United States, titled La Virginia Pars. Hidden in invisible ink, presumably to guard information from the colonies from the Spanish, were the
Jeez.
outlines of two forts, 150 miles west of Roanoke, um, the same distance away that the colonists had told White they planned to move. So, I mean, they could have been at another spot. I don't know.
But wouldn't they find evidence of it by now?
With this, they actually went and looked, um, and they found lots of English pottery.
Oh,
Yeah, that was for like food storage and preparation of food, something that would be used in terms of like you're gonna stay there,
great.
you're gonna actually live there.
Yeah.
So they found like a bunch of English pottery in the area, like dozens. And in 2019, they found even more
What?
um, of that European pottery there. So
He
that's
just went two
it's
hundred
just
and
like
fifty dollars.
it's you're going on all these different like goose chases and you're like running into dead end after dead end after dead end to maybe, but I don't know. Who knows? That was in 2019. That was the last effort that I saw that they had made. They're probably still searching. I'm betting they're pretty close to finding out what actually happened.
Oh, I'm
But
sure.
I don't think they'll actually ever know. I think it's always just going to be a theory,
Another
but
theory.
it's a very likely theory, I guess, that they had went to that colony.
They turned into trees.
So that was the story on the missing colony in Roanoke.
Yeah. They grew roots.
Hmm.
They
Yeah,
grew
and that's
roots and
I
turned
mean
into trees.
that's oh yeah. See all the trees behind me? That's him. Hey, there's your cousin.
There's your cousin. Where are we going, Dad? We're gonna go visit your family, your ancestors. Oh, that's okay. Well, there's your Aunt Pat, and there's your cousin
My Aunt
Virginia.
Pat.
Yeah. Anyways, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's always been one that's sparked my interest. I'm sorry if I confused you on part of it. It's
Excuse me.
confusing to read about because it was from so long ago.
I know. That's okay. You did
But
great.
it was on American Horror Story on season 6, maybe.
Ooh.
But it's really cool. They did like a haunted. They were in this house, and it was at Roanoke, like in that area,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of weird things happened, and they ended
Ooh.
up. I think they was it witchcraft in the show, was it? Or was it like a tribe? I think it was a tribe,
Huh.
but they killed everybody. I can't remember. I'll have to rewatch
That's
that season.
depressing.
Yeah, everybody died.
If
And
everyone
then of
died.
course, like they brought it to today and they made a reality TV show out of it. So it kind
On
of
the
like
show on
yeah.
American Horror
Yeah,
Story?
it was like cuz they had like the original people that were living in this house that were haunted by stuff, and then they had a reality TV show about those people's lives, and then it was going back even further to what they believed happened in the missing colony or
Oh
whatever.
my god.
It was a mess. It was pretty interesting.
I'll
It's a
have
good
to watch
season.
that one though.
Yeah.
I would watch it. I'd watch it. Um, I
I want to
so
hear a story.
okay. Do you want to hear a story about
I want
one
to
of the
hear a true story about a crime.
a true story about a crime?
Do you have any of
All
those?
I got for you right now is the death of Adolf Kors the third.
Who?
Adolf Kors the third.
Oh, so it's not.
One of the
It's
founders
fine.
of Coors Brewing Company.
Oh, ooh, yummy.
That's what's behind me. The
Ooh,
mountains, are
when
they
it's blue,
blue?
it's cold.
It's cold.
I love Coors.
Yeah.
I can't drink it. Come out with a gluten-free beer, Coors.
Come on, Coors Light, get on it. Um, so Adolf the Third was the firstborn grandson to Adolf the First, who founded Coors Brewing Company. He was uh, um, eh, okay, and then I forgot how to talk for a second. I was just like gonna start my own sentence that didn't make sense.
It's
Um,
okay. I did that like 8 times in mine.
it was February 9th, 1960 at 7:55 a.m. Adolf was on his way to a board meeting wearing his favorite tan ball cap and a blue jacket. He was a
Classy.
chairman, very classy, very businesslike. Um, he was the chairman of the board and the CEO of the company. He was also a husband and a father of 4. So this guy just like had a ton on his plate. I just I can't even imagine.
Quite the life.
Yeah, but it was also 1960, so he probably didn't have a whole lot of chores to do at home.
Oh.
So it usually would only take him about a mile to get to Highway 285 to get to work, but the state was doing some road work. So the residents were like forced to make a detour for like the last month. The detour added an extra 4 dirt road, 4, bleh, the detour added an extra 4 miles of dirt road to his route, which kind of sucks. After the dirt road, he had to take a road called Turkey Creek to get onto the highway. Turkey Creek? Turkey Creek. It's I don't know if you know what queek is, but it's a turkey that goes.
I used to swim at a Turkey Creek.
Did you? That's so
Yeah.
cool. Turkey Creek had a lot of sharp turns and one lane and a one-way. Turkey
Why
Creek.
can't we talk today?
I don't know.
What the heck is wrong with
Maybe it's
us?
because we're not drinking. Turkey Turkey Creek had a lot of sharp turns and a one lane wooden bridge. So, like, one car's
Oh,
crossing it, you have to
oh
stop and
no, I
wait.
hate those.
They have one on Isles or on Fort Wainwright.
Ew. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah, way in the back. Um, so Adolf took a sharp turn. He was on that sharp turn on that road and came to the bridge, but there was a vehicle idling on the bridge with a person standing in front of the car.
Uh,
So Adolf's like, okay. So he gets out and, asking if they need help. And it was a 1950 Mercury sedan. He's like, do you need help pushing this out of the way? The guy walks up to him he walks up to the man who's wearing a fedora and a knee-length wool coat. He was built similar to Adolf, and actually I looked at photos of him, and he looked like a slick type of guy. Like he looked like he was like, hey, need a ride to the airport? I don't
like
know
one of the
where to.
ones that talks fast. Hey, you!
Yeah.
Let me get
Yeah,
you a
yeah,
quick ride to the airport.
yeah. Like he just looks like he's
You
handsome,
chump.
Yeah.
Oh.
But like also kind of shady looking,
Oh.
a shady, handsome guy.
All
That's what
right.
he looks like.
As they all
Giving
do.
people rides to the airport because
He
that's
was a
what you
bad
do.
boy.
He wouldn't be giving rides to the airport then if he was a shady guy. Anyways, so I lost my spot. So Adolf approached the guy. And that's when the guy took out a gun and ordered Coors to go with him quietly. But obviously, like, it's Adolf Coors the third, so he's like, nope, I'm gonna fight this guy. He
Yeah, it's
lunges at,
Adolf Course the third. He's gonna beat some ass.
right. So
Get him.
Coors
He's
Coors
gonna
lunge
smash a beer can on his head. Sorry.
a beer bottle. It'd be a beer bottle.
Oh no,
That's
on his
when he
own
like
head.
takes it out of his jacket. He's like, my blue jacket and me. We always have a beer bottle.
We always have a but
So
but he doesn't waste a drop. He
yes,
breaks it, but at the very tip, and then he just chugs it, and then
then he goes
going
to
out like
fight.
a champ.
Absolutely. So Adolf approached this guy. He lunges at him, and they start fighting. They have a scuffle, struggling over the possession of the gun. They both lost their hats, and Adolf lost his glasses also.
Not my
Um,
glasses.
Not my glasses. So realizing that this wasn't going to work, Adolf took off running to his car. That's when the man shoots 2 bullets into Adolf's back.
Oh,
Yeah. He collapsed to the ground and died before the man could finish loading him into the backseat of his Mercury. So a little background about the murderer. His
okay.
name was Joseph Corbett. His name was Joseph Corbett. It sounds like he had a rough childhood. He watched his mother fall to her death from a balcony.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, and from what I was reading, it sounds like she was like going to like lean on the railing of the balcony, but it was removed like weeks prior, and she didn't realize, like, she forgot it was
So it wasn't
gone.
like suicide, it was an accident.
It was an
Oh
accident.
gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
that
So,
sucks.
he moved to Denver in 1955. He worked as a paint pl- he worked at a paint plant under the alias of Walter Osborne. He had been planning this kidnap for years. Uh, Throughout the years, he mail ordered handcuffs, leg irons, and a gun. And he got a ticket a few weeks before the kidnapping while uh, scoping out Mr. Core's route, um, because he was like, uh, he got like a speeding ticket. Sorry.
Right.
Uh, and okay, let me start that over. Uh, he had been planning this kidnapping for a year. Throughout the years, he mail ordered handcuffs, leg irons, and a gun. He got a speeding ticket a few weeks before the kidnapping while scoping out Mr. Coors' route in the new car that he bought about a month before.
Pause. Hold on. I just realized I fucked up.
What'd you do?
I don't think I never pressed record.
Okay. Your sound's been fine.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Do you want me to press it now? Or not at this point?
Just in case, I guess.
Okay. Why the I swear to God, because it goes through that extra step, and so it makes me press it twice. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bri, I know you're going to ask
Amy.
me, so I'm going to go ahead and just ask for you. Why do you think he needs an alias?
Hey,
Well,
Amy.
what?
Why does he need an alias?
I'm so glad
weird.
you asked. I know. Why would you need an alias unless you were like a bad guy? Well, that wasn't his first rodeo. Oh, sorry. Let me start over again. Well, let me tell you, because this wasn't his first rodeo.
Oh,
I know. Mm-hmm. He's been to plenty before.
Blown.
Oh, no. Joseph was an escaped felon from a minimum security jail in California after being sentenced to 5 years behind bars for a shooting and killing of a hitchhiker near Hamilton Air Force Base in San Francisco.
Ooh.
But he said it was in self-defense. So
okay.
So, whatever. So
was it planned?
I don't have information on that.
Self-defense. Got it.
So let's go back to the tragic murder of Mr. Coors. So within an hour after Joseph left the scene with Coors' dead body, a milkman pulled up to the one-way bridge.
It's always the milkman.
It's always the milkman. He honked a bunch. My grandpa was a milkman.
That is awesome. I bet he was a nice guy.
He was a really nice guy. He is a nice guy. He's still alive.
Is. Oh.
Yeah. He's like 93. Okay, so the milkman honked a bunch. He realized that the Coors vehicle was vacant, so he got out to check out the scene. The car was still on, it was still idling, and the radio was playing. That's when he saw a patch of blood on the bridge and a hat near the bridge, like down below. So he got back into the milk truck, honked again, hoping someone would appear, and he pulled the truck off of the bridge and continued his milk route. And at the first house that he came to, he asked to use their phone so he could call the police. It didn't take long for the police to identify the vehicle, and soon the other two Coors brothers showed up, along with a dozen of volunteers to search for Adolf. Some used jeeps, trucks, and even horses during the search.
Whoa.
Men on horses.
Pulled out the big guys.
I know. The next day, Joseph moved out of his apartment. The murderer moved out of his apartment on Pearl Street. His plan was to get away from Colorado as soon as possible. His plan was, I just read that sentence. Putting as many miles between him and the murder as possible. But this guy had mailed a letter addressed to Mary Coors, Mr. Coors' wife, and she got it that day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Why?
So should have waited an extra day to mail off that letter. It was a ransom note asking for $500,000, which in today's money is $4,611,537.
Dang.
In exchange for Mr. Coors, and said once she was ready to pay it, he would put an ad in she needed to put an ad in the paper for a John Deere tractor for sale. You know who would want to buy that? Josh. He like sees the ad in the paper and he's like, I want it. And calls Mrs. Course, and she's like, no,
Wrong
no,
person.
wrong person.
Stop it.
Do you have my husband? And Josh is like, no, I have
What?
money though.
I just want your tractor.
I just want your tractor. The Coors family called J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI, personally for his help. So they sent a team of agents to Colorado to help with the investigation. A blood smear was found on the driver's seat of the car and a larger one on the bridge, which led them to believe that there was an altercation on the bridge. Then Coors climbed into his car. And then obviously was taken. So they found the location of the struggle on the bridge by footprints of the struggle. Oh my gosh. They found the location of the struggle on the bridge by footprints and Coors eyeglasses. The Coors family identified his hat, and that led them to believe that the fedora belonged to the suspect. The guy even had a fedora.
Right, because they both lost their hats.
Yeah. So the FBI did countless interviews of possible witnesses in the area, which ended up being super successful. Many people recalled seeing a yellow Mercury sedan cruising the area the past month or so. And one man remembered part of the license plate, which was AT62.
That's
Such
lucky.
I know. How do you remember stuff like that?
Yeah.
I would never.
Maybe they were just suspicious because they're like, they're not from around these parts.
Well, yeah, and if they keep seeing them
Yeah.
over and over again, that's yeah. Unfortunately, there were 4 yellow Mercuries in the area with that letter combo. That does suck.
Wow. What are the
But
odds?
I know, but they were able to narrow it down to Walter Osborne. By the time they got the information, though, the apartment that Walter was renting was vacant. They did find empty boxes of handcuffs, leg irons in the dumpster out back, though, fortunately. They lifted his fingerprints from the apartment. They scanned the prints, which matched the inmate, Joseph Corbett.
Scooby-Doo gang must have been there. I like that.
The Coors family.
Wait. I'm sorry. My response was not great, but I'm confused. Wait, who's Walter?
Walter Osborne was his alias.
That's right. Duh, he had an alias.
Yeah.
Duh. Sorry, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, so they lifted the fingerprints from the apartment and they scanned the prints, which matched to the inmate Joseph Corbett, which is Joseph Osborne is Walter Osborne is Joseph Corbett's alias.
Right. Okay.
So the Coors family placed an ad in the paper for the John Deere tractor for sale, hoping that the person would respond. And then Josh called. No, I'm just kidding. The Coors family, I just said that, hoping that the person would respond. Okay. After 3 days, the yellow Mercury was found on fire near Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, which this is in
Bummer.
Colorado, so that's like forever away.
Yeah, all the way across the U.S.
Yeah, so now it's March 1960. There's still no signs of Adolf Coors anywhere, and Joseph was now placed on the FBI's most wanted list. So the whole nation was looking for this guy, and the police back in Denver were searching for Adolf, knowing full well that the chance of finding him alive grew smaller and smaller by each day. On September 11th, 1960, the clothing and bones belonging to Mr. Adolf was discovered in Douglas County at a private dumpster site on Jackson Creek Road. And experts confirmed that he was shot in the back twice. So, unfortunately.
Poor guy.
I know. On October 25th, 1960, FBI agents were on Joseph's tail. It led his trail, because he left one because he's a moron, led them to Toronto. I was going to say Colorado. It led them to Toronto, Canada, and I told you he left a trail. He was using the same alias, Walter Osborne.
Ah, you
So,
ding dong.
so they easily found him in Vancouver, British Columbia. He was arrested and extradited back to Colorado.
Ha ha! Justice is served
Justice is served.
for breakfast.
So on March 16th, 1961, the murder trial started. And within 3 weeks, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. And it just keeps getting worse. June 1978, he was released on parole. But due to public outcry, they revoked his release and put him back in jail. They're like, oh,
Sorry,
JK, no one wants you out. So, but a year later in 1979, he was released again because it was past his parole time. So he took off to California, but he forgot to close out a bank account in Denver. So the next day he flew back to Colorado, but he was arrested 2 days later in California for breaking parole by returning back to Colorado because he was supposed to report for parole in California.
Right.
And he wasn't allowed to leave California. He broke his parole. So he's like, I'm just going to fly back. No one will notice. No one will notice. Let me just go close this bank.
That's how they always get in trouble.
Yep.
Like, you just have to follow those rules.
Follow the rules.
Yeah.
In December of 1980, he was paroled again and rented out an apartment at 2801 South Federal Boulevard in Denver. And on December 1985, Corbett was released from parole. Over the years, he tried to live a private life. Dozens of reporters have tried to get him to talk, but he would refuse. Only one time he did talk to a reporter, Paul Hutchinson and Marilyn Robinson. During the interview, he expressed how fascinated he was about the 1932 kidnapping of Charles Lindbergh's baby and complained about the hostile comments he would get from strangers. He also denied ever being involved in the Coors murder.
Oh my gosh.
And on August 24th, 2009, he was found dead in his apartment due to a gunshot wound to his head. He took his own life and he was suffering from cancer. So, whatever. That's the story of Adolf Coors III.
You know, I feel like a lot of times, like these murderers that do such bad things, I feel like a lot of times, like whenever they do end up getting out, they end up dying from cancer.
Yeah, murder causes cancer.
Karma. That's karma.
That's karma. Or like a brain tumor or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like some sudden like illness.
Yeah. Like maybe don't kill people.
Yeah, don't kill people and maybe
you won't get cancer.
Yeah.
Murder
I mean, that's
hey.
We are not saying that you are going to prevent cancer killing people. So, but don't kill people.
Don't kill people.
Just don't kill people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You could also not go to jail.
Yeah.
If you don't kill people.
Another perk of not killing people.
Yeah. So
look at all these perks of not killing people.
Yeah.
Look at all of them.
Guys.
They're everywhere.
You should be learning things from us.
You get Cheeto Puffs whenever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can get those in jail. You have to buy them though.
Why did I say Cheeto Puffs?
I don't know. I did tell you what happened yesterday. I'll tell you.
Maybe that's why.
All I heard on the floor.
You're like, great.
Cheese balls everywhere.
Super. Cheese balls everywhere.
Oh, that was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
That was cool. Not cool, but crazy.
Poor Adolf.
It kind of is funny, not funny, that the suspect or the victim's name is Adolf and the killer's name is Joseph. All I could think about was Joseph Stalin and Adolf Hitler.
Oh. Well,
I just thought it was
Maybe
a weird combo.
that's a very interesting
Then we got
combination.
Walter in there. Damn it, Walter.
Frickin' Walter.
Do you want to hear a neighborhood story?
I do. Please tell me one.
Let's
Something that's better than the one that I shared.
I like the one you shared.
It just
It's just a
scares
little
me.
cringy, scary.
It gives me a new fear.
Oh, right. So, meanwhile in Allen, Texas.
Ooh,
This is
we
from the
have
Next
friends
Door
that
app.
live in Allen, Texas.
Oh, well, maybe this is from them.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I hope not.
So it says, apologies to anyone who might have just witnessed a lady running down an alley in her underwear yelling, "Baloney!" My dog escaped and I panicked. This is kind of like the one I yelled or talked about last week, but baloney.
Why are you naming your pet Baloney?
That would be me though, because I
love that.
like I don't usually wear pants around the house if I'm just lounging around. And if I needed to get out and escape, I would be screwed because I'd be out with no pants on.
Do what you gotta do.
Baloney!
You gotta be chasing your pet.
This is how much I love you.
Yeah,
Everybody
right?
just saw my laundry day underwear.
My
My granny
panties.
panties. Yeah.
It is what it is.
You gotta do what you gotta do. That's what I'm saying.
I hope she got Baloney back.
It's a dog eat dog world, right? Poor
That would
baloney.
be so embarrassing. Not only are you running through an alley
But you're
calling for your
yelling
dog named
baloney.
Baloney, but you're doing it in your underwear. That is so embarrassing.
You know,
I
at least
would've
she had the
died.
decency to apologize to people. I wouldn't have apologized.
I would have not apologized. I would not I would be like, "Who is that lady?"
I would pray to
no
God
one
no
will
one
know.
saw it. I would not
Now
bring it up again.
Yeah. And now everyone knows. Now everyone can make fun of her. Oh my gosh. That poor woman. She brought it upon herself.
She's
I don't
dead.
feel sorry for her. That was funny. I'm all mad about it. Well, such
Whatever.
for her.
It's fine. Shouldn't have named your dog baloney. Should have been wearing pants.
I mean, I'm trying to convince Kate, they got that new puppy. I'm trying to convince them to name it Bagel. But
I hate it.
you hate it?
I don't like that name. Sorry. I don't like food names for animals.
Oh, they thought of it first.
I think it's silly. I feel like they should name him some kind of Frederick or Sir Cuddles a lot. I don't know. That's stupid.
That's a really
Don't do that.
stupid name.
That is a stupid name. Like an old name. You know, I like the old people names.
I do too.
Sorry if
Leon.
you have an old people name and you're young. Who names
No,
a baby
you're not.
Wilbur or something? Or like Ernest. This is my baby Ernest. I'm so sorry.
One time we were talking.
We're gonna get emails or something saying my son's name is Ernest.
One time we were talking to our old it's not the same USPS or UPS guy, but Rick and I were talking to our old UPS guy, and we were talking about baby names or something, and I was like, yeah, like if you named your kid William or something, like I was like, our son's name is William, and I was like, oh my god.
I just feel like that's a name you have to like grow into.
Yes, it is. Like
I
it's
feel
an
if
old
you're gonna do
person
that,
name.
you need to do like a cute name with it and just go by
Yeah.
that name until they're older.
Right. Like you could call him Billy if
Yeah.
it's William. And that's cute for a kid, but or an adult, but I was like, this is cringy. I felt so bad. Oh
You're
man.
terrible.
Okay. So we're gonna because we have Bri has children that
We
are
got
waking
shit to
up
do.
soon. Yeah.
Stuff to do.
We have stuff to do.
Follow us and like us on all of our social medias. We are on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can just search at WWTN Podcast on Facebook.
You
We have a
just said
VIP.
that.
Huh?
You just
On
said that.
I know. On Facebook, we have a VIP group.
Oh, yeah.
Be sure to get in on that. We
And it doesn't
like
cost
to
anything. You just
yes.
ask to join.
Yeah. We like to
Yeah.
interact with everybody. We're super busy on it, constantly posting things, funny things, fun information, whatever. I'm
Yeah,
butchering this. I don't have
yeah,
the
we
paper in
play
front of me.
fun little games.
Yep.
Yeah. Like and it's not all podcast related either.
Oh, and when does this come out? There's
This
still one more
comes
week.
No.
Sunday.
This
You
comes
still
out
have a couple more days to add a friend to our Facebook VIP group in order to get a free month of
for
Patreon.
yep,
So
absolutely.
just make sure you tag that person in the pinned post on top of the page.
Yeah.
Also, if you just share one of the pinned posts, you can opt to
That gets
get a
you
free
a
month as
ticket.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
an entry. Yeah,
an entry.
sorry.
Yeah. And then our website is what'swiththeneighbors.com. And on there, you can find the links for everything all the Instagram, Facebook group,
Or to listen.
where to listen, everything's on there. And it also has a link to Patreon, which is patreon.com/WWTN podcast. And we have 2 different tiers that you can join to be a donor bus, to be on the donor bus. And that's $5 and $3. $5 you get unedited photo or unedited video of our recordings, and you can see our beautiful faces, and you can also see because it's unedited, you can see things that happen that don't
We don't
normally
like to
happen.
show everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Our mess ups, man, we had a lot this episode.
Yeah, this one was rough.
Hey, but we didn't have any interruptions, so that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
nope.
Yeah.
And it all goes back into the podcast. So
Yep.
you guys are helping us out by helping the podcast, or you're helping the podcast out. Whatever. You're helping us in the
Yes.
podcast out. So it
Yep.
doesn't go in our pockets. We're not
Nope.
making money off of it.
Nope. And $3 will get you exclusive content so that you cannot get anywhere else. The $5 tier, you get whatever the $3 tier as well.
Yeah.
And then feel free to slide into our DMs with any questions, comments, or even story suggestions. We got story suggestions last week, I believe. So thank you for that. And also,
That's at wwtnpodcast@gmail.com.
yes. And send us stories. Did I already say that? Yeah,
No,
send us
you said story
stories,
suggestions. Yes,
please.
please, please.
We like to do once a month. What is it called? Listener stories. So
Yes.
it could be neighborhood stories. It can be a true crime. It can be paranormal, alien, whatever you saw Sasquatch. Please, we want to hear about it so that we can share it with the rest of the listeners.
Yeah.
And have you checked in on the neighbors?
What's with the neighbors?
Bri and Amy.
Oh.
Hey, look, my mountains are blue now.
It's cold.
It's cold.
It's cold.
Bye. It's actually warm today.
Yeah, I know. It's so nice out.
No.
I'm going to play outside this afternoon.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.